What's up, everybody? This is Johnny Basement, and we are here live from the basement. And what we are talking about today is the New York Knicks and their inability to do a fucking thing. They can't do anything. Today was a trade deadline. The biggest trade deadline importance for the Knicks' second year of the rebuilding program under Tom Thibodeau and Leon Rose. And what trades did we get? James Harden went to the Sixers. Ben Simmons goes to the Nets. Sabonis goes to the Kings, and what did the Knicks do? Nothing. We did nothing. We stayed pat with the players that we have. Now listen, I'm not going to hate on Tom Thibodeau. Some people are already hating on him. I don't understand why. I mean, I understand some, but not fully, because Tom Thibodeau, when he came in, the Knicks were an absolute train wreck. They're an absolute train wreck. He got us 41 wins last year, got the players inspired, got a good young team along with some older veterans, combined well, nice balance. Lost in the first round to the Hawks, but hey, fuck it, we made the playoffs. We hadn't been in the playoffs since the Carmelo and Lynn Sanity era, which was way back 8-9 years prior. It's a long time. Before that, forget about it. Before that, it was like freaking 99 when we got swept by the Spurs in the finals. The Knicks have been an absolute disaster since 99. Disaster! Since that final sweep by the Spurs, which were a far better team anyway when we had Allen Houston and so on. But whatever, and Marcus Camby and so on. But whatever. That was then. We made the finals. They got swept. Strike shortened season, what have you. But now Tom Thibodeau, it seems to me, is getting a lot of the blame. It seems to me like the front office and the head coach aren't on the same page. They got Kemba Walker. Not a great defensive player. Tom Thibodeau's teams are great defense. Didn't want him. Hasn't gotten really the minutes. Shoot, he even took him out of the rotation until he was forced to put him back in because of injuries. Right? Then they get Cam Reddish, and apparently we find out the reason why Reddish isn't playing is because Thibodeau never wanted him to begin with. So who's right? Are we going forward with THIBS? Or are we going forward with the players? Because if Reddish comes here just to sit, and then they couldn't even trade him. They tried to trade him. You gave up a first-round pick for Reddish, and he's riding the bench. They got too many guards. Too many. And none of them seem to be impressing THIBS. None. But what we're focusing on today is get off THIBS, and let's get on James Dolan. This is the real reason why nobody wants to come to the Knicks. James Dolan is the worst owner, not only in New York, which is a major accomplishment. He's the worst owner in sports, the sports as a whole. Can you imagine in New York, you have the Johnsons, Woody Johnson, owner of the Jets, and at the time, for most of this time we're referring to, 99 up until, well, last year for the Mets, they had the Wilpons. Those guys were clowns. These guys were clown shows. The Johnsons owning the Jets, the Wilpons owning the Mets. These guys look like Robert Kraft compared to James Dolan. The Wilpons at least made 2 World Series with the Mets. They lost to the Yankees and then the Royals, but they made 2, right? They made the championship game twice, okay? The Jets made 2 AFC championship games during those times. The Knicks won 1 playoff series during that same time. Can you imagine that James Dolan is worse owner than Woody Johnson of the Jets and the Wilpons of the Mets, who now have Steve Cohen, who is a way, way, way different one. I'm just referring to the Wilpons, not Cohen. Guys, James Dolan is worse than them. And for all that you didn't know, James Dolan owns the Rangers, but for some reason he lets the Rangers, general manager and whatever, do their thing. He doesn't really interfere there. What are the Rangers? The Rangers are like 1 point out of first place. He stays out of that deal. But for the Knicks, for some reason, he just messes with the deals and messes and messes and messes. It's James Dolan. Players don't want to come here because of him. Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Dolan cleared the way. Everybody cleared. They got rid of Porzingis and cleared the way to sign these guys. And you know what they did? That's what they did to the Knicks. They went to the Nets. Why? James Dolan. LeBron said he didn't come to the Knicks because of James Dolan. James Dolan is the worst owner. He has banned Charles Oakley, had him kicked out of the game with security, handcuffed and removed a New York Knicks legend. And then he wouldn't even shake his hand later on. Like LeBron said, that's the whole reason why he doesn't come to the Knicks, because of James Dolan. This guy has been an absolute clown show for this organization. It's ruined them. It's absolutely ruined them. I mean, give me a break. The draft picks to the coaches, they haven't had anybody. Do you know that since 2000, the Knicks have had just two of their homegrown draft picks actually go to the All-Star game? David Lee and Porzingis. That's it. Do you guys recognize any of these names of doing anything? Here's some of their draft picks since 2000. Donnell Harvey. Who? Exactly. Channing Frye, serviceable player, but never really did much in the NBA. Journeyman, whatever. He was okay. Rolando Bachman, same thing. He was okay. Jordan Hill, who? Iman Shumpert, he was good for the Knicks. I mean, he was a decent player. Never really shot and went anywhere. What did he do? These are our draft picks. Porzingis, Frank Ntilikina? Ntilikina was our point guard. What's the obsession with going to France? Remember when we took Frederick Weiss instead of Ron Artest? Remember that? Unbelievable. Ntilikina, what did he do for the Knicks? Nothing. They had a shot at Steph Curry and they didn't take him. James Dolan is the reason the Knicks are bad. That's the reason that no one wants to be on the Knicks. That's why we can't make any trades. We have veterans that nobody wants. We have young players outside of R.J. Barrett that nobody wants. We don't have anything to give. That's why there's no trades made today or yesterday. Nobody wants our players except for R.J. Barrett, and we're not going to give him away. Julius Randle is like the Ryan Fitzpatrick when he was on the Jets. Julius Randle's like that on the Knicks. They had one really good year. The Jets came within one game at a playoff, so Ryan Fitzpatrick actually held out. He actually held out. He didn't hold all the other teams he played for. He didn't hold out. Only the Jets were dumb enough to give him a contract. Comes back the next year and he sucked. Julius Randle gets a great contract, helped the Knicks, no doubt. I know he wasn't good against the Hawks in the playoffs, but no doubt because of him. Big reason is that Knicks even made the playoffs last year, so you can't totally hate on this guy. Now he gets a multi-year deal, and what is he doing this year? He's doing shit. I mean, he was on the Lakers with LeBron and all these guys, and they didn't do anything then. They didn't sign him long-term. He comes to the Knicks, looks great one year, and now he's back to what he's usually been doing. Nothing. A good game here and there, but for the most part, he's doing nothing. Right? So here we are with the Knicks. Everybody wants THIBS fired. I don't want THIBS fired. I think we just need another player or two that can shoot. We need better defense. We need players that are going to gel in THIBS' system. If you're going to rebuild, you have to go with the coach and what he's doing. Do I agree with every move that the guy's made? No, of course not. But what are you going to do? Fire him and then bring in somebody else? Who are you going to bring in? Another player that just retired? Who are you going to bring in? You can't rebuild in a couple of years. At least not in New York. It just doesn't happen that way. James Dolan is the worst thing from New York. This is when you have problems or addictions or anything going on in your life, you have to find the root of the problem. Oh, it's the coach. Oh, it's the players. No, what's the root? Dolan. James Dolan. That's the root. We have here, can you imagine? James Dolan was named the worst owner. I wrote some of this stuff down because there's so much crap on this douche. He actually was named the worst owner in sports when Donald Sterling, the racist owner of the Clippers, was still involved in the league. Dolan beat him out for worst owner. Can you imagine that? Donald Sterling and all his racist statements didn't even get worst owner. Dolan got it. Dolan got rid of Marv Albert, who was announcing Knicks games from 67 to 04. From Willis Reed to basically Patrick Ewing era. And he got rid of him because Marv Albert was saying too many honest things of being critical about the Knicks and what garbage they are. So he shipped him out of here. One of the greatest announcers in basketball history. And we shipped Marv Albert out of here. That's incredible. Unbelievable. And then we get Phil Jackson in here, who's considered the greatest coach of all time. He runs the front office. Dolan ties his hands, and he looks like a fraud. He looks like a joke. Looks like a joke. Only here in New York can we do that with the Knicks. Unbelievable. So now we're going this year. We don't get any trades. We have to go with the roster that we have. They're in 12th seed in the East. 12th. Is this THIBS fault? You're going to fire him? I don't think so. Leon Rose, great agent, but he hasn't been a great general manager. But again, what does he have to work with? These guys' hands are tied. My gosh, I'm a Jets fan. Can you imagine going from Jets season to the Knicks season? I'm more excited because the Knicks games are watchable. At least they're watchable. But now they're on a horrendous, mortifying road trip out west where every team is 2 tiers above the Knicks. They got smoked by the Jazz, lost to the Lakers. Now they're playing the Warriors tonight. Lord knows they're going to get murdered in that game too. But when people say, oh, the Knicks, are they supposed to beat the Warriors? No. Are they supposed to beat the Jazz? No. No. The Knicks are waiting for Derrick Rose to come off injury. Derrick Rose, all due respect, but the team should not be hoping that he comes off an injury and he's supposed to be our star. He should be a compliment to the rest of the players, not the guy we have to rely on at this stage of his career. Absolute disgrace. This is a rebuild. Remember when they hired Larry Brown? Larry Brown was signed to a 5-year deal to coach this team, Hall of Fame coach. And we fire him after 1 year. And that was after the Isaiah Thomas debacle. Another joke of a coach. Come on. We hire a real coach and you get rid of him. Leon Rose, what does he have to work with? We can blame him too. We can blame the players. We can blame old veterans. We can blame. The root of the problem is James Dolan. That's it. The Mets, the Wilpons, sold the team. Got Steve Cohen. He's an actual Met fan. He's a billionaire. He wants players on the team that are going to win. The Jets have a billionaire owner, Woody Johnson. The guy doesn't have a clue. He listens to what Jet fans want. Instead of getting real players and doing what we should be doing, he's like, all right, we'll wear white jerseys with black pants today. That's what the fans want. Who cares what jerseys they wear? Win some damn games. Guys, James Dolan is the root of the problem. That's really all I got. I just wanted to let you all know, why couldn't the Knicks make a trade? Why couldn't they get stuff done? Why are they getting Kemba Walker and Cam Reddish and they're not even using them? Because the GM and the coach and the owner are all on different pages. But you're bringing a guy like THIBS, maybe you should listen to the coach and what he wants and what he doesn't want. So you don't give up first-round draft picks for Cam Reddish, who might have been really good for this team, but he doesn't fit into the system of THIBS. So where do we stop? Where do we stop at? James Dolan's the problem, guys, and there's nobody on the same page in this organization since '99. Nobody. That's all I got. The Knicks are a fucking disaster. I am happy that I can watch the games because they are competitive at least. Remember, people, it wasn't that long ago, just a few years ago, when they had 17 wins and 21 wins and whatever. Last year we had a winning record for the first time in forever, so I'm not going to hate on THIBS, not yet. I don't agree with every move he makes, but I'm not going to hate on him all the way through. I'm going to hate on James Dolan, who's even banned fans for just yelling at him, hey man, sell the team. He's had these people removed by security from MSG. And some of them, he's had their tickets banned. He's banned Charles Oakley. Come on, Spike Lee had a problem at the game. Spike Lee, the ultimate Knicks and Rangers fan. Spike supports both teams at Madison Square Garden. And Dolan banned him because he went in a door that he wasn't supposedly supposed to go through. It's Spike Lee, man. Come on. That's your biggest supporter. When the Knicks are bad, you don't see, or the New York Rangers are bad, you don't see all these fake celebrities that come to games just to be shown there. Spike Lee is a real fan. When the Knicks are trash, Spike Lee is on courtside. When the Rangers are trash, Spike Lee's at these games. And you ban him? I know he's back in the games now, but he shouldn't have had a problem. It should have just been like, hey man, whatever that situation was, you smooth it over and move on. But not James Dolan. James Dolan is a power-tripping asshole that has been owning this team and ruining this team. Can't even get good veterans in here. Can't even get good players in here. Nobody wants to play here. Thank you, James Dolan. I'm Johnny Basement. I'm out. Can't discuss this. Gosh, let's go from the Jets to the Knicks. Goodness gracious. Thank you, Rangers. Thank you, New York Rangers. And thank you, James Dolan, for not interfering with them. I don't know why that happens. Maybe you should not interfere with the Knicks and let them run their own thing. They might be in first place like the Rangers are. Johnny Basement, I'm out.